the feminine side. The standpoint. Still listen to the feminine side. The standpoint.
Hello there and welcome to the Standpoint. I'm sure you can tell from my set that we are Valentine ready. Listen, for the past almost 16 years, because in July the Standpoint will be 16 years. Can you believe it? Yes, for the past almost 16 years, every Valentine's Day or week, we celebrate couples on the Standpoint. This year, we say we are celebrating ourselves because our theme for the Standpoint this year is Woman, Be Bold. Dare to be bold. So today we ask and we tell you, woman, dare to love yourself. Yes, we are going to talk about self-love, especially for women on the Standpoint today, even as we prepare to celebrate Valentine's Day. And it's our special Valentine's Day program. And I have the right people, the women who know how to love themselves across generations. You don't want to miss it. Call someone to call someone. And this is a program you need to watch with your daughters and your sons as well. Well, let me say thank you to Yekua Tie Dye for my tie and dye. And then my dress, is my two-piece, is by Ekia_Omanye on Instagram. She will hook you. Any occasion, she will hook you out. And then my makeup by Touch by Rosie. Touch by Rosie. One word on Instagram. Contact her and she'll sort you out as well. Thank you to Twinny Craft for my beaded earrings. They always got me covered. We take a break. When we come back, we talk about self-love, even as we prepare for Valentine's Day. This Valentine's Day, Monday, man no day, woman no day. We still go celebrate. And that goes out to you, my sons and daughters. We'll be back.
The standpoint. The standpoint.
Welcome back to the Standpoint. And yes, the fun has already started behind the scenes. That's when you are with the right tribe of women. It's always fun. It's always excitement, you know. And yes, this year, Valentine's Day, for almost 16 years, every time celebrating couples, this year we are celebrating ourselves, loving ourselves, and talking about how to love yourself as a woman, regardless. Married, single, divorced, widowed, whatever, how to love yourself. And I have the right women here. Before that, let me say thank you to Vena Mineral Water. Vena Mineral Water has balanced pH levels, has all the right minerals that you need, and it's also low in sodium. They believe in sharing love and changing lives as well. Now, seated right opposite me is my very own sister from another mother, the woman who has made sure that every Ghanaian child speaks well, reads well, and can spell. She is Eugenia Techi Menson, Country Director, Young Educators Foundation, but you can call her Mommy Spelling Bee. Welcome to the Standpoint.
It's good to be back after how many years?
I know, right? It's been years. Good
It
to
has
see you.
been.
Looking good.
Thanks for
and
having me.
looking bee-ish.
Yes.
Yeah.
Queen Bee.
Queen
Bee.
Next to her is a woman I've also known for years now. You can simply call her Miss Lankai. She is an entertainer and host of the Lankai Show. Miss Lankai Show. Good to have you.
Oh, it's good to be here.
Finally.
Finally, the Standpoint.
And at this level, I don't know how to introduce this one. Well, most of you know her as Eliza. She is Elizabeth Olympio Emmanuel. She's a what was a
Thank you.
Restaurateur. Jam Rock. If you haven't been to Jam Rock yet,
You haven't been.
you are
You
not part
haven't
of it. Good to have you on the Standpoint, ladies.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, we don't need to say it. You all seem love life. At least I know all of you. We had a conversation quite recently with Eugenia, and she was chastising me. Sis, you need to love yourself. You need to rest. You need to. Today she's going to tell us all about it. Let's start with Miss Lankai.
Whoa.
What does it mean when you say a woman should love herself? What does it mean?
I mean, it says it all. You're a woman, and you have to live the part. To me, loving yourself is just waking up in the morning and feeling good about yourself. No matter what happens out there, make sure that it doesn't affect you, because when it affects you, then it affects your body. So if you love yourself, you dress well, you wear the right clothes. What is the right clothes? Depending on what you want to wear. And if it looks good, fair enough. If it doesn't look good too, fair enough. But you've got to love yourself.
Yes.
And to me, wake up in the morning and feel good and love yourself.
What about uniqueness? Because you are very unique in every sense of the word.
You know, yeah, I mean, everybody can't be unique. But to me, when I remember when I did my hair, everybody was like, oh, are you sick? I'm like, do I need to be sick to get rid of that hair? The heat and all the, ways that people wear wigs and stuff, you're like, what's going on here? So to me, to be unique, I've always loved it. When working with airlines and stuff, and I come out and I have big afros and everybody's looking at you and thinking,
Who is this one?
Who is this one? She's challenging everybody. Anybody wants to talk and they don't talk, So uniqueness is very, very important, because it means that you're putting not a price on yourself, but you're putting yourself out there for people to see that you exist.
Eliza?
What does it mean to love yourself?
Yeah, do you agree to what?
Absolutely. You wake up.
Okay, now let's look at you. What does it take to love yourself?
What does it take to love yourself? Wake up in the morning and say, it's going to be a good day no matter what. Look in the mirror. Daily, you can make this happen. Smile at yourself. How do you look? Are you happy with your weight? Are you happy with your clothes? What makes you tick? You have to just make sure that happy space, you create it for yourself, no matter the circumstances you find yourself in. Positive attitude, positivity all the time.
Have you always been like this woman, who is free like the butterfly, happy no matter where you find yourself? I was telling somebody that when you go to Jam Rock, and nobody is jamming, the owner will be jamming and rocking.
I didn't start in the hospitality industry. I started as a biological science student. That's what I did at University of Ghana. Then I moved into psychology. I did linguistics. I was finding myself.
Wow.
Oh, I studied medical laboratory technology at Kolebu as well. I don't know how I've been able to cramp all this study in all these years, but my parents my father's passed away, but my parents have always encouraged education. So in no matter what sphere you find yourself in, there's something to learn along the way. But I've always been happy-go-lucky. I've been a tomboy from ever since I was very young. And they try to restrain me and be more ladylike. Lately, I've been sharing my old pictures against my today pictures. And you see snippets of what she is today from the past, Muted, but, it is coming. It is coming, raring to roar. And I'm at that roaring stage, and you can't hold me down. So if there's a sad situation, you are alive. That's the first thing. So many people didn't make it in 2023. We are here today. We are alive. There is cause to celebrate. You're well. You're not sick. Celebrate. Wear your fancy clothes. Don't leave it for Christmas. Don't leave it for Easter.
I know, right?
Don't postpone your happiness. Live now. And it doesn't have to be with a bottle of champagne. It can be with Sobolo, Asana. Add a little soda water for fizz. You can be happy on a budget.
You can be happy on a budget.
That's a good one.
Eugenia, you know, there are a lot of people who see Eliza and say, oh, yeah, she's Jamaican. She didn't grow up here. That's why, you know, she is. I actually thought until I followed her journey, you know, followed her and got to know that, listen, this woman can, you know, rock Adan and ever, and, you know, she's not, you know.
There you go.
Yeah. And you see Miss Lanka, you say, oh, well, so maybe, you know, she left abroad and all that. So that's what, but it's not very Ghanaian.
Yeah.
By you and I.
Can't wait.
Funny enough, I was raised in Ghana.
Yes, I know,
I've
but
never lived abroad. North Ridge Lyceum Primary School, Achimoto School for high school, University of Ghana for tertiary education, and lived and worked here. Ghana has molded me.
Born
Thank
But
you.
the next works I found myself in,
Yeah.
you
Exposure.
glean from the positivity.
Exposure.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm just talking about the perception
Yes.
that people would
Yes.
have if they don't know you.
Yes.
You know, because the first time I saw her speaking, she said, so yeah, man. You know, on social media, yeah, man. You know, she's going for a walk and talking about exotic food. I was like, okay. Then I got to know that, hey, no. Take care.
There's some a work plan there. A work plan.
And I buy her banku with the seafood. Right. Eugenia, what does it take?
It takes a consciousness to want to love yourself. I speak from the position of consciousness because there's a lot of weight and expectation put on women in our society. So if you're not conscious, you go with the tide, and the tide says you're a woman, and you have your responsibility is to nurture.
Yeah.
Whether it's to nurture your children, your husband, your parents, that's your responsibility. So in a workplace, when anything goes wrong, or it's someone's birthday, or there's someone come, where are the women? You know. So what that ends up doing, or what that tends to do, is that you're always in the front line. It's good to be in the front line, but do you remember to take care of yourself? And taking care of yourself is subjective. So for different people, it could be different things. I grew up in a family where my mother took care of herself. I just didn't know that was what it was. But my mother does make time for herself. As in, she has to go to a party, she will go, regardless of the fact that she has children.
Yeah.
So she can, you know, she has to go to her choir practice, she will go. You are not stopping her. Basically, my mother has lived. She's still alive. And so I think subconsciously I have that. So I'm able to make time for myself. And the making time would include anything, spending time with children. That's my time. You're not taking away from me. Doing what makes me happy. Sometimes I prefer to go to a restaurant and eat by myself. People have seen it as pathetic. You're eating by yourself. I said, you have no idea what that does for me. That's a time that I think a lot. I'm able to catch up on my reading. I love to read. I don't find the time because I drive myself. And also the fact that you are comfortable in your own skin and you are your best friend. The other thing I've noticed about our growing up as women, African women, is that we believe that someone should love us, and then that becomes our validation. Exactly. But I've also, as I've grown, I've noticed that it is because I love myself so much that I attract the right kind of people. Because then you're giving them good vibes about yourself. Because we're all not perfect. I'm sure you look at me and you can see things that you think, oh, you've got this, or you're not that. However, you still are laughing and getting on with it. So then mine is little compared to yours, and therefore you begin to attract positivity. Right. And I like that Eliza mentioned that, because positivity is a position and a choice. And again, we tend not to. That's not our default thinking. I'll give you an example. One of my children in the spelling bee was saying that, I was asking, do you feel ready? Do you feel ready to go and spell? And she said, no. I said, okay, why not? She said, I don't think I've learned enough. I said, okay, What have you learned? She'll now name about 6 or 7 areas of the 10 that we take them through. And I said, but I said, you've just named 7 of the 10 that you've gone through. So do you think that you're not ready enough? I said, oh, okay, I didn't notice. Because that becomes the default. And so she's also in an environment where that becomes looking for perfection. They say women should can have it all, which to a large extent is subjective, I think. And also it's too much pressure.
We are multitasking and all
so
that.
I'm sorry.
Some of us can do.
Men don't speak like that. Men have it. Period. Dot. Women have it. At the right time, you'll have what is meant to come to you if you're working towards it.
That's powerful. Ms. Lanka, you want to-
Because I always also say that you have to, if you don't love yourself, then you have a problem. Because you will be with yourself for the rest of your life. So loving yourself and going out there and doing what you want to do, when you want to do it with the positivity that you need, you can't go wrong.
And let me take a break. When we come out, look at how to go about it, because there are people who have been socialized or raised not to love themselves. Those of you sitting and watching, hey, they are lucky. Maybe because of me, how can I do it? Some of us, we learned to do it, or something happened that our eyes tear. Say, hey, you know what I mean? While you're watching the Standpoint, let me say thank you to Esteron Balloons and Accessories for our beautiful balloon decor for the Valentine's Day program. Thank you so much to them. Yep, cleaning services, they make sure our environment is always clean. And then of course House of Food, Auntie Vera, thank you so much. Thank you to Vena Mineral Water, Bigo Drinks, and who else? All our supporters. Juice Time, 100% fruit juices from the farm to the factory, to the bottle, to the shelf. They do the whole chain, so you can trust it. We'll be back.
The Standpoint. The Standpoint.
And welcome back to the Standpoint again. I say thank you to Yakwata Dye for my tie and dye. My dress, my two-piece, is by Ekia_Omanye on Instagram. Makeup by Touch by Rosie. And then, of course, beaded earrings by Twinny Crafts. Thank you so much to them. And yes, we are talking about how to love yourself as a woman. Eliza, when before we went for a break, I was talking about how some people were socialized, raised with this belief of you have to sacrifice. You don't live for yourself. You live for others. So you always have to give, and we neglect us. And I'm sure when growing up from, your primary to secondary, people thought, she's too much, she's old, but she's a woman. She doesn't, kind of. How do you get to that place of love, understanding that you matter as a woman?
You have to make an intentional effort to be happy. You have to break the stereotypes that the society forms for us. Until I was 19, of course, I had to reach 18 before I was let out of the nest. and before then, it was very strict. It was to school, back home, to Ridge Park, to Ridge Church, accompanied by either or both parents. If it's a friend's birthday party, they wait for you outside, or they time it and come back. So it was a very sheltered upbringing, and you must conform. This is what is expected of you. Your dress length has to be below the knees.
Thank you.
You cannot show your belly. You can't have more than one earring in the ear. I still have just one. I'm still contemplating when to get the belly, the nose ring, the belly. Same.
I said to do it this next birthday.
I will
do it,
and
I'll do it.
Yeah.
Life is for the living.
Yes.
It is. But I'm still. That is how much we have been conditioned to conform in a certain pattern, an expectation. But you have to break free and do what makes you happy, not bothering about the rest of them because they don't matter. But it takes some maturity to get to the point that you realize no one else matters. As long as your actions do not injure the next person, be happy. Make that, you have to make a conscientious, intentional effort. This is for me. If it is banku and kinke I want to eat, that's what I'll do.
Okay.
If I want to go out, have a party, be at a party, that's what I want to do.
Let me still stay with you and talk about a matter that affects a lot of us, marriage. Lots of women lose themselves when they get married. I nearly did. In fact, one of my daughters actually wrote me a nice letter that you did lose yourself initially. You know, when you got married, you suddenly became this slate and kaba woman. I mean, at first when I read, then I was like, she's right.
Marriage. You know, as women and as mothers, even if you don't have
Now,
a biological
motherhood is another
child.
one.
Yes.
So let's handle the
I'll get-
married
it's-
one, then we'll
it's-
get into that.
It's related to the question.
Yeah.
Raising our children, raising our boys is crucial because these boys become men and husbands. And it is this parenting that impacts on the marriage. They need to have empathy for their spouse. I was in an abusive marriage. My first marriage was abusive, obsessive. I've never disclosed this, but it was not good. But I had
Did you lose yourself there?
I was young, but I had supportive parents
Great.
who
Bless them.
took me back when I said, Mom, Dad, I can't do this anymore. They said, come back home. And that was it.
Amen to that.
My
May
parents
all
dissolved
parents
it.
be like this.
Yes, they supported me. And today I'm in a loving marriage. I am given freedom of movement, freedom of
Who you worry
I
a
can
lot.
speak to.
Worries a lot too.
He's a confident spouse. Yes, but yeah, marriage, you should not lose yourself. Yes, I lost myself in the first one. I did. And it's
And
a
it all
lesson.
depends on the partner you have, isn't
It depends on the partner you have, and you must learn to love yourself and say, this is not good for me. The stereotype where the society says, you're married, you have a child, you must stay in it. No, we are not in the era of our parents and grandparents. I know this sounds too modern or too forward, but even if it means being a single parent and you are happy, do that.
Yeah.
Your life is important. People stay in abusive relationships and die, and you'll leave your children to someone else to maltreat. Don't
That's the
do
scary
that.
part.
Move.
That's the scary part. That's the
Move.
scary part.
It's the scary part.
Yeah. Yeah.
You shouldn't take your life. You should love yourself.
Miss Lankai, one other thing I realized, sometimes, you know, the pressure or the edge to lose yourself, it's from us, that women, not necessarily from the man. No. You know, sometimes you're conditioned to, like it happened to me. Now I have to do this. I have to do that. Now, when I started change, you know, my husband suddenly behaved like, hey, Gifty Auntie is back. I mean, it hit me now. I was like, okay, so why didn't you say anything? You know? But then, you know, it's how we allow sometimes pressures. I was also hearing things from outside. Oh, now that you're married to achieve, you have to do this, you have to do that. And that pressure of, you know, everybody knows you are vocal, you are this, so you have to make, and I don't know how, but it did get to me. Until I, you know, literally snapped out of it. You know, so sometimes it's the way we condition ourselves.
Yeah. With me, how would I deal with it? I've never been married. And I am the happiest person on the planet.
Hallelujah.
Because at the end of the day, I always say, you have to enjoy what God has given you on this earth and stop moaning about things that have not been. Because you start thinking, oh, I want to be this, I want to be this, but you're not even appreciating what you are. So how can you even become what you want to be if you don't appreciate?
Did you at any point get this thing about, you are growing old, now you can't dress like that.
Absolutely.
You can't wear these kind of lipsticks and,
Should I
you know, the
stand?
heels. Stand.
Just let me say, hey.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Let them see your heels, your heels.
You put it on the table. You know?
How do you do it? I mean,
I
This
think
young lady, let
I've
me
always
see.
I've always had a mind of my
Hey, my own. I stand in it. I stand and sit in it.
I've always had a mind of my own. I don't go looking for trouble, so don't bring your trouble onto me. It's as simple as that. And I love myself, like we're talking about. Love yourself enough to be able to say, yes, I'm not married, but I'm happy. I mean, not because you don't want to get married or because you never know. The later, the better. Because you're matured enough.
My mother-in-law remarried at the age of 74.
Oh,
lah.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And she had a wedding.
Yeah.
I've seen the pictures. Yeah.
You're matured enough.
74. Yes.
You know?
After being widowed for 18 years, she remarried 74. Yeah.
You know, we just sit down and then we moan about things, and then it makes you grow older because you're always thinking about you things that you don't have, and you're not appreciating the things you've got. I mean, I remember when I finished Accra Girls at 17. I went straight into Barclays Bank. I was the youngest girl.
You finished Accra Girls at 17 years, went straight to work at
Barclays Bank. 6 months later, I was in Barclays Bank. Yeah, I worked with Barclays for 6 years, and then after 6 years, I flew out to Paris. Then after 10 years, went to the UK, joined BA and all this. But I've always been somebody who was self-conscious and self-confident with anything I wanted to do. I was, around the time that I was even flying out and going back and forth, I was working on my music. I was working on my acting. I was working on my shows that I wanted to do. So I was putting things on paper. I'll come back from a trip, fly out, go and do a presenter's course for 2 days. The next 2 days, I'm out of the country. So you make, like you said, a conscious decision to think about you and you alone,
So loving yourself includes adding value to
adding
yourself.
value
and
to
living
yourself
your
and
dream.
living your dream. And so when after 15 years of the airline, and I thought, enough. I've had enough of the UK. I've had enough of traveling. Let me come back home, because I have something that I want to achieve. And if you don't come, you never know. Or you don't come and try it, you never know. So I came back and set up, like a modeling agency, and things were just going until the COVID reared its ugly head. Then I thought, okay, so now what? Then I started bringing all the music that I'd done, everything that I ever invested in, I kept it. I've never lost anything along the way. All the visuals, because we are living in a world of visuals. So if you don't have the visuals and say, oh, I've done it before, you can't show anything. So I've got all my visuals today that my publicist is being able to post. And people are like, oh, yeah, you've done. I said, I was working at it. And so the later, the better. The reason why I always say that is because when you get it too early, you're not matured enough to deal with it. So it can just escape. But when you get it at the later times of your life, and you know that this one, I've worked hard for it, you grab it, you keep it, and you make sure you never let it go.
So you've relaunched your music career.
I mean, now I've put everything under one umbrella. So what I did was I brought all the music out, I brought the videos, I brought the pictures, and then I thought, this is the time to get the show rolling. And that's the best of the Lankai show. The Lankai show, yes.
The Lankai show.
Yeah.
And it's on
Akwaba Magic.
Akwaba Magic.
Yes.
Okay.
Season 2 on
Fridays,
Fridays, 8:30.
8:30.
So real prime time too.
So I know, right?
And it went through the roof. Apparently, when it started,
it will.
from Nigeria to everywhere we're calling. I'm like, wow. I was like overwhelmed. And season 2, I've just signed for season 2. So it's just about to.
Amazing.
To start airing.
Amazing. Idinia, you're looking at her. When you look at what comes to mind, like
this is where I want to be.
Thank you. You were telling me that I'm setting you see, there are seniors.
There are seniors, and there are.
The things that make us lose ourselves and
I think,
feel guilty. Sometimes feel guilty of loving your life.
Yes, because again, as I think, as we've all said, that it's not something that's encouraged. So I think I have, well, I subscribe to the school of thought that you can only add value to yourself when you do have hobbies. It's something we don't do as a people. We don't have hobbies. And we position or we present life as a destination when it's a journey. This is why when women get into marriage, it's like I've arrived and I'm done. And therefore, it does happen to men as well. I do see men let themselves go once they're married as well. There's nothing to fall back on. When, for example, you're married, so now you found your life partner, you're with them, now what? It's like, there's nothing to do. Then in that case, we are here. It's like, the destination, we've arrived. So we're done. Whereas it's a journey to now discover yourselves as a couple, yourselves as married individuals, and how with children come in, what is family life. So really it's constantly evolving. We're constantly in a space of evolution. And what I've noticed in my life is that most of the things I'm enjoying doing now, the things I did when I was a kid. So when we keep telling children, hey, stop playing and go and learn, you're killing things that could be their hobby that they can fall back on. So marriage really is about a union of two people who've decided, or two ideas, or two institutions that have decided that if we come together, the force will be greater. That's what marriage is. So that the person you're going in for, you must be sure that, yes, we can. And if it doesn't work, like Eliza was saying, you should be able to walk away. In our society, marriage is for life. Okay, yes, we get it. It's
for life. No, it's for life.
Yes.
It means it's for the living.
Yes.
But if you're in it and it's killing you, you will die. Why?
I couldn't put it better.
I
couldn't put it better. So I think that and also the fact that I've always asked that, when we're getting married, and the things that the woman is told, marriage is your dignity. But what about the man? Does he want it as well?
It's the crown of your head.
Yes, it's basically, the way I see it is two people have decided to come together and make life work. That should be the bottom line. Two families have decided to come it's a partnership. And if you look at the partnership I tend to use is, I'm not advertising anyone in particular, but these two auditing firms used to be Price Waterhouse and Coopers and Library. They're now PwC, and nobody remembers them as individuals. That is what a partnership is meant to be. So that if you now go in and you lose, they've not necessarily lost themselves, because their individual names still there. They're still there, but they forged. Yes, find yourself in it. And in finding yourself, I can't stress on this enough, you must have a hobby. When COVID came, that was when I saw a lot of people clueless, because what do I do? I just went to school to study finance and banking. So now that we're not working, what do I do? I said, you don't have a hobby? You don't cook? You don't sew? You can't do anything? So those who obviously had it as may have had it, but didn't even know. You can't even write. You can't present a TV a show. And I know people, Jessica or Parisa started her YouTube through COVID. It's something that obviously was latent. It's a skill she's had, and COVID allowed it. So if something like that happens, if you were given the opportunity, what will be the skill? And these are things that we've done away with: sewing, cooking, running, dancing. Everyone knows. I mean, if you know me, you know that dancing is my other name. I go to a children's party and the children leave the floor, and then I teach them how it's done. Like, don't be doing left and right. Just put your back in the thing and break it, and then I get my 10,000 steps and I go and sit down. Like that. But again, and I've got comments like people go like, hey, when you go to a party, you really dance. That's just my hobby. And that is my outlet. That's the other thing. We don't have a hobby. Oh, as in, we like to spectate. Ghanaians like to spectate. So we want to sit back and hire people to come and dance for you. So if you are a guest and you're dancing, no, you shouldn't. Your makeup will run. Your dress. Enjoy it. You've been invited to I've never understood that about us. We go to a party and we're sat there
and we have our phones.
Yes, we have a phone, and then we will record the moment. When the moment is happening live, you should be watching
You're
it.
not even part of the
Yes,
moment.
you're not.
I tell people I go to parties for two reasons: one, to drink, and two, to dance. As for the food,
I have it at
home.
Yes.
I can go and buy.
I mean, unless you're promising me, like cuisine, and not food, because there's a difference. One is art and one is just homemade food. And 9 out of 10 times, when I go to a party,
Bravo!
Tekel.
That difference.
Tekel, it's clear.
Yeah.
You know, because you will go to some parties that it is cuisine. So that one, we are not coming to dance. Yes, the fine, you know, you
fine
see,
dining.
You are like, is this not our own chicken that is now looking like spaghetti in front of me? Because of the way they've treated it. And that also has its place. But typically at a regular, it's my 50th, it's my 30th, come and let's have fun. And we go and we just sit down and spectate, eat, sit down, spectate, and you ask for you. Yes, ask for you like dancing, no. And you know,
And they're talking about hey, look at her.
and I say
too much.
Yes,
all
and I
over the
say,
place.
this
Hey,
one,
where is-
this one here,
This one,
she can't dance to save her life, but she's
But
the
she will
first
dance.
person who will be on the floor to move,
And
because
that
you
the
see,
people who follow you.
and yes, and then because then it's engaging.
Yeah.
You realize it's almost like watching Westerners dance.
Yeah.
You know, when they're like, oh, they can dance, but they are dancing. They can't
You are better. You are better. Don't mind her.
you know. I can't say loudly.
It's my 2024 goal
Yes.
to learn to dance like Marina.
Yes. I'm her goal.
Her goal.
Yes. So there's that. But
Yeah.
again, as I say, it's just to buttress the point about having hobbies. It could be anything, and it's something you fall back on as you grow.
Yeah.
Because I think, as Ms. Lankai was saying, you have only you. All the people that bring your children, our children are not our children. You hear me?
Yeah.
I've had to learn that our children are not our children.
children,
But at a very young age, they want their independence. So you say, my child. It's not your child. It's a child of the world.
Good. Yeah.
They may not even come back to you. It's someone else's child who may come to you.
Yeah.
So you just contributed to the population of the world. Make sure that you invest in them such that when they go out there, they are a better version of you and can contribute.
Yeah.
But that's it. They owe you nothing beyond that. So because of that, you now find yourself.
Yeah. Like this morning, I had to wake up because we had to do this particular one very early. I had to wake up by 4 o'clock to get because of where I live. And I was waking up my daughter and I was just apologizing. And, I'm sorry, okay? Mommy has to, and I don't have, for the past 3 months or so, I don't have a nanny. And I was apologizing and everything. And as soon as she well, where are we going? We are going to my friends. Oh, she's up. She was up and ready, excited.
Look at that.
Sometimes I take her to programs and I feel she's so tired and I'm feeling bad. And then we get home and it's like, Mommy, when next are we going for a program? I'm like, okay, so why am I,
doing something right?
She's enjoying
you should
it.
see her jumping and she hasn't even complained that she's angry.
No. Yes.
She's very excited, she's okay. But I was letting that, be a stumbling inhibit my movement and my growth. Because I was
And her growth as well.
And her
because
growth
you would have
too,
left her at home.
Exactly.
And that stuns her. So the other thing I want to say, especially for those of us who are in very busy spaces who have children, it's okay to bring them along.
Yeah.
They need to see your hustle.
Yes.
A lot of children don't even know what their parents do. They don't understand and therefore they have this sense of, I want an iPhone for my birthday. Do you know what it takes?
To get an
Do you know
iPhone?
what it takes? Come and see me sweating. Doing this, then they turn off the lights, dab my makeup. Come and see what I do. Then when I give it to you and you abuse it, and I say I won't give you again, you
know where it's coming from.
or you treasure it. So it is not wrong at all what you're doing, but yes, it's a feeling we all get every now and then. And sometimes some children will take you on, in my experience, will take you on that guilt trip because they don't know any other. Why are you letting me do this? So you understand the value of life. We need to quickly pass on that knowledge at a young age. We tend to think, when they grow they'll understand. No.
And
Is that
very
young
smart.
age? My daughter, for example, asked that she wants a dog. Every birthday, she says she wants a dog. I said, okay, we have plants, indoor plants. You don't water them and they die. Then I'll go and buy another one. So the dog, who will clean after the dog?
Feed the dog.
Yes. So the poo is the poo. I said, so until the plants in this house flourish,
No dogs allowed.
no dog.
Hold on to the door.
So now her goal is to make sure the plants flourish.
So she can get her dog.
Yes.
You taught her something.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
That it just doesn't come easy. Just a dog.
doesn't.
Hey, dog. What's it? It's like a child. It wants to eat. It will
Follow you.
In addition to that, as Eugenia was saying, we are mostly entrepreneurs. These happy ladies you see
Yes,
around
we
who
are.
love
Yes.
themselves
Yes.
are
Got some
growing-
business going.
got
Yes.
business going, and you have to look at your succession plan. So
Yes.
if you do have children, it means that you must be grooming them from age 5.
Yes.
Take them to work on the weekend. Once a week is enough, and they follow you around, or you let them follow one of your staff. In the restaurant, I run a restaurant.
Yeah.
And they come in, yes, they come occasionally to swim. There's a swimming pool next to it. But they follow the process. They know that stock has to be bought. It has to be in good condition. They know it. They know the menu, how it's supposed to be served. They need to understand the basics. And then it's not like you're imposing on them to do this work. They will cherish it, treasure it, and they'll know that it's an empire to build. All of these chain businesses, family businesses, third generations didn't just happen. So parenting, loving ourselves, good parenting, and involving them at this early stage cannot be overstated.
Yeah, and I believe that loving yourself doesn't mean you should stop doing something, but you do it because you want to.
Yes.
Because you love to. It's not because you feel compelled to.
Yes.
Or you're being told to do it. Or you think it's, a chore to do it. Anyway, in 3 days, we are celebrating Valentine's Day. What are you going to do for yourself?
I will be at Shamrock.
Trying to dance.
Tweaking up the lovely location and expecting singles to come as well and meet other singles or couples to come along. There will be a music show. My Valentine's will be for my guests. I am loving all my patrons.
And you'll be dancing.
And
you will be
absolutely be dancing, even though I have 2 left.
The first time I met Eliza, it's like, oh, you come on weekends, is it on Fridays? We
Salsa.
have this salsa dance, we have
Reggae.
So I thought we have reggae. I thought she was really. Then I saw a few clips. Like, okay,
Aspirational.
it's okay to go and learn. It's okay to go and
It's
learn.
never too late.
It's never too late.
It's never too late. And it's all age groups.
Miss Lankai, what about
Oh
you?
my goodness, I haven't even thought that far. Because to me, Valentine's Day is every day.
Right.
I enjoy my life every day. I wake up and I'm thankful for waking up because a lot of people didn't wake up and you have woken up. So to me, Valentine's Day, birthdays, every day is my birthday. Every day is Valentine's Day. And every day is to love people
Every
around
day
you.
is to love people.
Well,
Miss Eugenia, how do your children call you?
yeah, Miss Eugenia.
Nice.
The whole month of February is my birth month.
Yes.
So there's that.
I mean, you are going to rock the whole. In fact, you've already started.
There's that.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the fact that it happens to be a month of love.
Yeah.
And I think as Ms. Lankai said, listen, every day I'm loving. I'm either loving myself, I'm loving someone in my family, I'm loving every day. And love is expressed differently. So for me, when I express love to myself, something that I've done, and the things that I do that I love would be my work that I do. I'm able to read a book. I'm able to go for my dance class. I'm able to go for my walks. I don't like walking, but what makes me enjoy walking is I listen to music or audiobooks. Very easy, light audiobooks. I spend time with my family, my cousins. It's just these little acts that I do every day. I won't say there's anything extra I would do to signify that they maybe buy chocolate and eat, like chocolate that I've been dying to have. Like I love this chocolate. Yes, chocolate. So again, because I'm on a healthy diet where I need to watch what I eat, and so maybe on that day, I will have.
You spoil yourself.
Yes, I have a bar instead of just like I'm gonna have a full bar of chocolate that day. And pretty much that's it. But I think that, as Ms. Lankai was saying, you really should make it. You should make it about every day.
Every day.
Valentine and your birthday is every day.
Every day. Okay. And finally, briefly, in conclusion, what's your advice to every woman watching you
Be intentional about being happy. Set out a plan. Take your phone. There's a notepad in there. Have a little diary. Write it out. What would make you happy? You make a vision. Write what you want and work towards that vision.
Miss Lankai.
Yeah, I'd say, there are lots of married women out there who would say, oh, because of the children, I didn't even have time to put on makeup, or I didn't have time to get myself dressed. No, big mistake. Because if you're with your husband and he's always seeing you tied the cloth around your wrapper, he will start. I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying that make him realize that what he's got in the house, he cannot get that anywhere else. He can go look for, but hey.
I'm confident about myself,
Exactly.
It's
So
just-
you wake up in the morning, make sure that the children have gone to school and stuff. Don't make your husband your focus. Make sure that you are independent within the relationship, and that will work. Because other than that, you get tired of each other.
I would say enjoy every phase of your life. That's what love is. So if you're single, enjoy it, because when you get married, there's some things you can't do as a married woman. And if you're whatever state you find yourself in, really. Again, if you're in your 20s, enjoy it. Wear those short skirts. Wear them.
Feel free.
Because when the varicose veins start popping, and we wear them. I mean, we do, because we've got the maturity to carry it off. But live is all I'm saying. That enjoy every space of your life, because you want memories. When you look back, you go, I've done this before. I've been there. I've done that. You don't want, I wish I could have, because what then happens is that you become jealous of others.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. You become jealous of others who are living. And then become judgmental.
Exactly.
So live every phase of your life and take it, enjoy it, live it, enjoy it, make the most of it. Because if, again, you're going to live past 70, 80, there's some things that you could do at 30 that you can't do then. Do it now. Find out what you can do at your stage in life and do it.
Because the years creep up.
They creep up so quickly.
I mean, look at January is gone.
Yes.
Where did it go?
And very soon.
And we're in Valentine. And then February is going to end.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful, spending time with you. I've learned a lot. I feel empowered and emboldened, my birthday, when I posted the pictures, the ones that was screenshot and sent to, were the one with the slit. And when they sent it, I said, yes, I saw it before I posted it. I knew.
That's the reason why
Actually,
I posted
our original dress was like this. And then I got it and I was like, Brie, what is, they said, Mommy, you want the slit? So slit. At a point when you said, hey, Brie, I didn't know. I'll be back with a bit of me. But hey, to celebrate Valentine's Day, we have a little gift from, Venom Mineral Water and Bigo Drinks for you. And so you said that day, only that day, spoil yourself.
Oh, yeah, okay? That's the idea.
I'll be back with a bit of me. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I know. So, Nikrakran said, all we are saying is, choose a woman running mate now. All we are saying is, choose a woman running mate now. And all we are saying is, choose a woman running mate now. And this is a campaign spearheaded by FIDA Ghana, endorsed by the women of Ghana. So you better listen. Don't miss the Standpoint next week.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diana Hamilton, and it's a privilege to be here with Auntie Gifty on the Standpoint. But now is to let you know that by the grace of God, the Awake Experience is 10 years old, and we get to celebrate this in a grand style in Accra and in Kumasi. Accra is the 18th of February at ICGC Christ Temple East Tishi, right behind the Trade Fair or off the Bush Road. And so make a date with us, 4 p.m. in Accra. I'm sharing the stage on that night with Mercy Chinwo, Daughters of Glorious Jesus, a host of worshipers, Jackie Parry, Adwentriwa, CT Praise. Make a date with us. Exactly a week after, we get to go to Kumasi, Church of Pentecost, Bantama, for their wake experience with Diana Hamilton. I get to take SP Kofi Sapon, Kofi Usupipra, Akese Brimpon, Reverend Mensa Bonsu. Yours truly will be there. Grab yourself a ticket. Star 725 star 8080 hash. Star 725 star 8080 hash. And anybody that wants a premium ticket, you dial 054 690 7473. 054 690 7473. Ticket outlets, Bachona Total, Shell Shops, Hacho, Dansoman, Tema, and the Kwai Runabout, Poco Trading. Grab yourself a ticket. God bless you.
The Standpoint.
Love, 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 love. Did you ever go to Sunday school? Love, 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 love. I love to love. Do you love to love? Everybody loves to be loved. But the most powerful love of it all is loving ourselves. Girl, you need to love yourself. It's okay when you feel terrible. It's okay when you feel you're struggling, you don't know how to love yourself. It's okay. But it's not okay to settle for it. We've made enough excuses for ourselves why we can't enjoy our life and live the way we know deep down we want to live. Or because we are afraid of what people would say, of the reaction of people. Most people want to be like you, girl. Most people want to be like you, but they just don't know how to. Let your inner you come out. Enjoy your life. Every single one of them. Every single moment. Wherever you find yourself, learn to laugh. Learn to let yourself go. Of course, bearing in mind where you are. Sometimes, you need to apply the discipline and the curtsies and all that. But enough of living for others. I saw a post quite recently. The person says, when you die alone. When you are born, even with twins, one comes before the other one. Even when it's through cesarean operation, they take one out before they come individually. Live your life. We've lived for others for too long. Bottom line, love yourself. Love is beautiful. And when you love yourself, all other things seem to fall in place. Even the most ugliest thing, you are able to laugh over it. I remain a woman with super crazy faith in God. These days, I say I have stubborn faith in God because I know who I am by the grace of God. So who are you to tell me what? Charlie, see you same time next week. Bye for now and live. Mwah.